Hey guys, welcome back to the Dev Show. I've taken a lot of time off the show to figure out what it is that I'm truly passionate about and to practice again with the camera just as much as I possibly can, creating a brand for myself as a photographer and not only doing the Dev Show and doing these pop culture events. I was having a hard time figuring out how to balance being able to do things that weren't pop culture related. I've just really focused on how to keep the integrity of the Dev Show alive with pop culture themes and going to Comic-Con and being able to separate any photography and future endeavors that involve things that aren't pop culture related to exist in two separate places simultaneously. And that means more of a easygoing kind of interview style where I'm not doing too many promotional interviews. It's more like we're just talking to who we want to talk to. So with that said, today we're going to be talking to Zachary Branch. He is a stunt actor and an actor out of New York City. We've had him on the show a long time ago with my friend Carson Tyler for the film No Return. So I'm excited to welcome him back here today for his first solo interview on the channel. This is a long time in the making, so let's welcome Zachary. All right, Zach. Well, welcome to the Dev Show. Good to be here with you. It's your first time coming on solo, so welcome.
Yeah, good to be here. I'm stoked. It's good to see you again.
So the last time that we talked, I asked you because this was back in I think 2021 at this point, or even 2020. I can't remember. That time's a blur. But I asked you. I said, "Are you going with Zachary, or are you gonna go with Zach?" So you're still rocking Zachary,
Yeah.
right on, brother.
Still going with the birth name, the official.
Right. All right, man. So we're here today to talk to you about your career as a stunt performer and an actor, and basically what your journey was like getting into that and where you're at today. So, for people who haven't heard of you and this is their first time seeing you on the show, maybe just give them a little introduction to who you are and what it is that you do.
Yeah, I'm Zachary Branch. I'm a professional stunt double and an actor. I love it. I'm very lucky. I'm still, I'm still finding my way to some degree.
Hmm.
Um, but I've been grateful enough to have some cool roles and work on some really cool stuff. Come a long way. So it's very cool. It's very cool to be able to do this, do something that you love, It's important. It's healthy. Yeah.
And so, how old are you now?
I'm 24.
Was it acting at first, or was it stunts that you wanted to do?
Technically it was acting. Yeah. So I started acting when I was 21, about 3 years ago.
Right on.
That was it's an interesting journey.
Hmm.
Um, it's not easy for anybody.
No.
But yeah, no, I just started acting and then kind of realized that I had a more physical, um, wanted to add more of a physical, like athletic aspect to what I was
Hmm.
doing, and
Yeah.
started training stunts pretty heavily about 2 years ago, and
Yeah.
here I am.
And that's the thing. Hopefully, that can lead into you being one of the actors that does their own stunts, how
Right.
Tom Cruise or Jackie Chan.
Yeah, that'd be cool. It'd be cool to be up there with those guys.
You know?
Those are people I look up to. So
Oh yeah.
it's yeah,
But
definitely.
so let's talk about as far as acting goes, like once you got your foot in the door, what project was it that you worked on at the beginning?
My first stunt job, my first acting job.
Well, I guess we could go with your first acting job.
My first acting job was No Return.
With
That was
Carson?
yeah, with Carson Tyler. That was a short film
Right on.
um that we did. Yeah, that was really fun. It was a very fun experience, very cool. I met a lot of great people.
Hmm.
Um, I was kind of thrown into it very quickly. I didn't really have anything to show for myself, so I was given a chance, and
Hmm.
I owe that to them, the team over there. It
Hmm.
was really great. really, really great. I learned a lot from that, as like in a sense of I learned a lot about myself
Hmm.
because I was like, oh, I really do want to do this.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up like doing theater, or I didn't grow up in the play space or the musical space, so it's tough to kind of realize that this is what you want to
Hmm.
do because people work so hard at it and from such a young age too, and it's just like they know for a fact,
Yeah.
but like I wasn't really sure, and
Yeah.
then I got lucky, and then realized, okay, maybe I should run with this luck a little bit.
Yeah. And that was at 2020 around that time.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was like
That's.
toward the end of 2020. I think maybe no, I think that was the beginning of 2021, like
Hmm.
very early on. I think it was like January, February.
You were also on Outer Banks, or like you
Yeah, I
worked
did
on
a
Outer Banks.
yeah, I did a
Yeah.
stunt on Outer Banks. Yeah.
So that would have been around the same time then,
Yeah,
or
that
like
was well,
close to that.
that was technically first.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't like to say that that was first because I was
But
just kind of like skating.
yeah.
I was a glorified background actor in that. Um,
Yeah.
but and all power to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I did work on that for a couple days. It was very cool. The cast is great. Shout out to them. They're really good people.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I was just kind of skating on that, and that's when I really realized I was like, man, I want to do this. Like,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
sick. Like, this is how it always is. And no, it's
Hmm.
not. But it was so cool to kind of realize that like, oh, I do have a path within
Hmm.
myself. It was very cool to understand that about myself.
Seeing a set for the first time, I'm sure there's a magical feeling.
Dude, it was magical. Exactly. That's a good way to describe it. It was very
Yeah.
special. Very, very
Yeah.
special.
And so when you were working on Outer Banks, were you at the point where you were kind of nervous to approach people, or was there anybody that you started to like ask, like in regards to like stunts or for advice or anything like that?
Yeah, I asked a lot of the main cast. I remember asking Chase and Maddie about it.
Hmm.
I was like, "Hey, like, what do I do? Like, how do I do this?" And they were like, "Oh, you just gotta
Yeah.
take classes. Like, it's not given to anyone." And I was like, "Fair, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe I should probably start taking some classes." And then I trained with a studio out in Los Angeles. Zach Barnett Studios are great people over there.
Hmm.
Really, really good people. I really, highly recommend it to anyone, anyone watching. That place rocks. Everyone's so nice. Everyone's so forgiving, and I learned so much with those guys over there that like it just really like threw my trajectory forward. And I'm so grateful for them because that was like some of the best time I've spent. Like
Hmm.
acting in, and the people I was acting with were so good, and I was like, oh no, like what? How do I do what they're doing? And
Yeah,
it's just a lot of,
exactly.
yeah, it's a lot of like picking up on others and with teachers and coaches, and it just like it all just comes together in like this really beautiful way.
Yeah, for sure. What about stunts made you think, oh, oh this is awesome? Like, what about stunts was it?
Um, I remember I remember seeing all the stunties on the menu, like doing all what they were doing, and this guy Ronnie Shalvis, really talented performer. Like this guy rocks, really nice guy.
Hmm.
Um, I was watching him like do his stuff. He's like flipping. He was doing like corks like in the holding area, and I was like, "This is cool, man." Because I was just like standing in on that project, trying to learn more, and then slowly like getting into doubling work.
Hmm.
So it was just so cool to talk to him and see that. And the stunt coordinator Monique Garrington, she's very nice to me about putting my foot in the door and kind of trying to figure out what I was good at before I
Hmm.
was trying to be good at everything, because I think that's what I was doing. I was just like, oh, I want to
Sure.
do everything. Like I want to act, I
Sure.
want to do stunts, I want to be a crew guy. Like it was just so it was very inspiring to see them
Hmm.
because like they were so like cool about it, and I was like, I want to be like that. I want to be like those guys.
You want to get to that point, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I still do.
At this point, you have a quite a few things under your belt. You're at the point where you're a working actor, and that's obviously it's the goal of any actors to be able to work and have these experiences. So I mean, I do want to touch on the menu. We talked about that. That's where you got some of the original inspiration. What
Right.
a very strange and twisted film that was, and
Right.
tell me a little bit about that experience because not only was that a strange and twisted film, but that was a film where you got to learn from some of the best of the best, you know?
Yeah, yeah, dude. So I originally auditioned for the sous chef Jeremy, and
Hmm.
I was like very green, so like I don't even know how well I did, whatever. And like they asked me back, and they were like, "Hey, we want you to audition for one of the chefs," and I was like, "Okay, yeah, cool, cool, cool." And I went in person, and I did the audition, whatever. It didn't go so well. I heard that, I learned actually a few months later that I was very close, which would have been cool, but
Yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
So they ended up asking me to stand in for John Leguizamo and um, Arturo Castro. So I went and did that, and then after being there for quite some time, I realized that maybe this was a good thing that I wasn't on it as an actor, just because I like didn't know much. I really didn't know
Yeah, oh yeah.
everything, like how things work, and this and that, and like the lingo and all this stuff. So like it was
That's
very important
huge.
for me. Yeah. Oh, dude, I learned that like that was very important because if you don't know anything, you're just kind of there like a headless chicken, like just
Speaking a different language, you know?
exactly. It's a different language. Yeah.
And look at who you get to shadow. That, I mean,
Yeah,
it's pretty
yeah,
cool. I mean,
the cast was insane. Anya Taylor-Joy, Nick Holt, Ray Fiennes, like Mark Mylod was directing. Like it was just so cool, man.
would the menu have been the biggest set that you were on at that point, or because Outer Banks was TV, No Rest for the Wicked is TV, so the menu must have been huge.
Oh yeah, that was like the biggest of the big for me. I was very thrown getting there. Like we were in a studio, we were on the lot, like it was a whole deal. Um,
Hollywood, you know?
yeah, man, like Hollywood. It was like what people talk about. And it's what you hear, and like I was actually there, and it was so
Yeah.
cool to be able to like actually share the space with these amazing talented people
Hmm.
that I never otherwise would have thought I'd even meet,
Hmm.
let alone be able to like call them my coworkers.
Yeah,
You know what
exactly.
I mean? Like it was just so cool. It was like a master class in acting. And I know a lot of people say that about this movie, but like truly was like
Yeah.
truly a master class in acting and camera work, and Peter Deming, an amazing cinematographer. He was one of David Lynch's guys.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to him.
Of course.
He he taught me so much about the camera and then like lighting, and I was like, wow, like there's a lot that goes into this. Like it's not
Hmm.
just okay, set up the camera, let's go, like let's roll. It was like, setting up a shot, like the most minor things
Hmm.
are so important to them. And I was like, oh, this now makes a lot of sense.
I want to talk about Monarch.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, man.
Did something happen there where you had a little bit of a spotlight there, like because of I don't know, I just saw like a lot of people talking about that.
Yeah, I was in the trailer,
Okay.
which really added to, a lot of, and those fans are crazy. Like those guys are, it's a very deep fan base, and very like they really care about their stuff. So
Damn.
I was lucky enough to be the guy that painted the bomb that Godzilla eats and or like hits or whatever and becomes essentially his stronger self in the 50s in Bikini Atoll. So I was like, wow, okay, I didn't really know the gravity of it. At the
Hmm.
time, I thought I was just like a guy painting the bomb and like talking to my guys, whatever.
Yeah.
But after the trailer dropped, there was a lot of stuff on Twitter about who is this guy? He's the guy. He's the one doing this. Like it's
Yeah. Yeah.
him. It's this little
Yeah.
idiot. And I was like, oh, okay. And then there was like YouTube videos made about all the history, and then I started to do a little bit of research, and I was like, wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so this does mean a lot to a lot of people,
Yeah.
which was really cool though. It was very
Yeah.
cool. It was a lot, but it was very cool because I also wasn't used to that kind of spotlight, especially at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. If there's anything that's cooler than being able to do it, it's that something means something to somebody, you know?
Right, exactly. Exactly.
And that's the magic of it post being on set, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. And I wasn't really used to that at all because I did a movie before that called May December, and that was also like a very similar experience because I knew about the history that they were kind of roughly, loosely basing the story off of. But like, I didn't know it was that serious, and the actors were very in it and
Mm-hmm.
very, you know, it's hard to say, but was
Yeah.
just like, I was like, oh, I'm just like the guy, like I'm just like one of the kids, one of the like, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
Julianne Moore's grandson. Like it wasn't special. It was very special, but it wasn't like
Yeah.
special in a sense of like, oh, this matters. It was just like,
Yeah.
oh, this is really cool. Like this was
Mm-hmm.
really, really cool.
That's wicked, man. That's awesome, and it's
Yeah.
cool that you get to be a part of something like that. This is your second time being on a feature, would that be?
Yes.
Okay.
First like acting role in a feature though.
Oh, right on,
Like a
right on.
truly big feature. Yeah, that was
Awesome.
crazy.
Tell me about that experience.
I learned that I booked this job, and I was like, oh, this is crazy. Like this is a big movie. And it's a very, very, very small role, very like minute, but it was just so cool to be like a part of that family and be in the room with these actors. Like it was just so special. Like I got to act with Natalie Portman, and I got to, Julianne Moore was my grandmother in the movie. Like it was just so
Mm-hmm.
damn cool
Mm-hmm.
that I just kind of let it all happen. Like it just all happened, and I was like, and I like sat down. I remember I sat down in the hotel, and I was like, wow, that was kind of insane. Like that. I
Yeah.
was like, I was like, dude, you gotta understand. Like I was talking to myself, like, dude, you gotta understand. Like that was crazy.
Yeah.
Like that was insane. Like you're really doing it. And
A
like
pinch
that's when I
yourself
realized I was
moment.
like, exactly, yeah. Like you gotta pat yourself on the back, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because like it's very hard to convince yourself that this is going to work because
Mm-hmm.
it's a very hard industry. It's a very very tough job, um,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard to keep it going, like keep the momentum. So I had to just kind of sit back and tell myself, like, wow, you're really doing this, kid. Like this is
Yep.
some crazy stuff. Like
Yep.
being there was so great. Like I still still have really close friends from that movie. Like I love Gabe, love Isaac, love Corey to
Mm-hmm.
death. Like those are really great guys, and it was just very special for me.
For
It was a
sure,
very like
man.
defining moment for myself.
Absolutely. Do you feel like at this point in your career that you understand the formula?
Yeah, to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to a degree for sure. It always changes,
It
but
definitely does.
yeah, it
Definitely.
always changes, especially with, just all the AI BS and all that stuff.
Oh
But it's
God.
like, yeah, we don't need to get into that. But I do think like I know 80% of what's going on. If
That's
that
it,
makes any sense. Yeah.
So I want to know, now that you've got it about 80% down pat, there is a new DC universe that is coming. There's a new Marvel that is coming after Secret Wars or whatever.
Right.
My point being is that there are new franchises that are coming out. Is there anything that is a personal goal, franchise to work in, anything?
I think it'd be cool to be one of the Spider-Man. I think
At
it'd
this
be
point, I don't know.
I think that would be a really a fun thing to do. I'm not the biggest, superhero fan, but
Fair
I think
enough.
that would be cool. I think I would really love to work with there's so many directors that I would just like die to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Um like Gaspar Noé would be really cool to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Luca Guadagnino would be really cool to work with. I've been lucky enough to work. I just worked on a film with Josh Safdie, and that I crossed that off the list.
There
That
you go.
was like top of the list, and I somehow, some way did that. And but yeah, like I think being Spider Man would be sick.
Being Spider-Man
That'd
would
be
be
really
sick.
cool. Yeah.
I've tried to interview what's his name? His name's William. I don't know if you know who he is. He's a skater, William.
Yeah, Will Spencer, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
talked to him quite a few times, but we never got around to an interview. But
he's hard to
that's what
get
I
a
was
hold of.
thinking. I'm like, you could definitely be Spider-Man, or like if you could put your mind to it, just like anything within that realm. Spider-Man, of course, is the dream. Do you have any other big aspirations or goals? Because this is the point where I have you before anything happens, and now I'm
Right.
gonna get your. We're gonna make some, predictions, some hopes for what you want to do.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to lead like a coming of age film. I I think that
Mhm.
would be really fun experience because it looks like they have so much fun filming these movies, like a Lady Bird type of movie. Even though I'm a guy, but
Mhm.
it'd be cool to be like the Timmy or like the Lucas Hedges of that movie, even though they're not the leads. But it would just be so special to me because then I can kind of be myself a little bit,
Mhm.
because like I feel like every actor brings a little bit of themselves to their roles, and like
For sure.
I haven't had enough big roles to be like, okay, let me pull this from this and create a backstory and make a playlist and all this stuff. So it's like I think it'd be very special to kind of have my own film.
Mhm.
I do think I'm ready.
Mhm.
Um, I've had a couple fun auditions here and there, but like, it's tough to get in that to get your like because once you're in, but
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to make that step
Absolutely.
because you need a lot of people to trust you.
Absolutely, man. Well, like, hey, I enjoy talking to certain people and following them along, like with their career, because to me it just kind of creates an authenticity with someone. I mean,
Right.
if you look at the old Johnny Carson show, he would just talk to people over and over at different stages, and wherever the person's at is what they're willing to share. So I mean, as long as it's cool with you, no matter what happens in the future, as long as it's cool with you, I'd love for you to come back and just chat for 20 minutes, and just
Absolutely.
follow you along, and because from the looks of it, man, you're making strides, and you've got so much that we can talk about, and so much in the future that I'm sure that the future is going to be bright for you.
Right. Well, I absolutely, well, one, of course, always, but
Appreciate it.
two, like I appreciate you even thinking that I'll get to that point because I need all the help I can get.
You want to know why I think that though, man? You
Yeah, I
want to
would
know
love to.
why?
Yeah.
Because I've been in this chair and I've talked to so many people at this point. More people than interviews are on the channel, by the way. And I've watched so many people succeed at what it is that they want to do, and they all have one thing in common, and it's just that they kept pursuing it. And now these people that I know and have talked to and have seen, they're doing what they want to do. And so that's
Right.
why I have that faith, I guess, in pretty much anybody that wants to pursue a creative career in that
Right.
aspect. So
Right.
yeah.
Well, dude, that means the world because it does help if you love it.
Yep.
If you don't love it, then you're
Absolutely.
not going to be good at it. You're not going to go very far, I think. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I just think, you got to care about what you do.
Hmm.
Because if you don't, then it's just work.
Exactly.
And when it becomes work, then, you got to take a step back and realize that it's art.
Exactly. Let's talk about a couple of the last things that here, the most recent of the most recent things for you. I'm so out of touch with television at this point.
Right.
So I'm like, this series exists, and it's like, damn. But I wanted to talk about Saturday Night Live, Goosebumps. Then we can talk about Blue Bloods.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
those three things, and then anything upcoming that you have. So, as for Saturday Night Live, tell me a little bit about that. How does one get in touch with the Saturday Night Live?
Oh man, I was lucky enough to be a stunt double for Mikey Day on an episode a couple months ago, and it was the Chris Rock Gracie Abrams episode, and I got that text, and I was like, oh man, yeah, like I'm there, I'm
Yeah.
absolutely there. So shout out to Jamie and Brian for that, the coordinators. They really gave me a shot,
Mm-hmm.
and it may just be one fall, but it was just something that I'm forever grateful for it because that was so special to me to be able
Mm-hmm.
to be on something that big and that important to so many people. Like this
Mm-hmm.
show has been around for 50 years, tomorrow or what like
Yeah.
they're doing the anniversary special on Sunday and it's Friday. So it was just it was very surreal to be there to
Mm-hmm.
like go into 30 Rock for the fitting and just go up there and like they're like, oh yeah, you're Zach, like come on in, like
Yeah.
here's your thing, here's your clothes, here's your whatever, and I was just like,
Yeah.
right, okay, yeah, like yeah, okay, like
Yeah.
it was just so special, and like the people you pass in those hallways is just like
Yep,
What are you
exactly.
doing? And it's like, but it's so normal to everybody because
Yep.
that's what it is. It's just like that's work, and it's something that you gotta realize. I'm so happy to be able to do that and to be able to say that I've done it. Um,
Yeah, man.
to have that experience was just so special to me.
Yeah. You said it was just one fall, but that's kind of the stunt double's career, right?
Yeah,
Progressing one fall at a time.
one fall at a time. Yep,
Next
exactly.
thing you're gonna be falling out of buildings, you know? It's only up
That'd be
from
fun.
here,
That'd be
literally.
fun. I'm down for whatever.
And then the last thing, 2025, man, just came out. Goosebumps, dude. How was that?
Oh man, that was really special. Very,
Right
very
on.
special. Shout out to Jared Burke. That was a really great opportunity. He brought me on, and it was just very, very cool to be a part of something again. So
Hmm.
important to so many people. Like I remember reading those books. I would get the books at the Scholastic Book Fair.
Dude.
Like
I'm
that was
sorry.
something. No, you're good.
Oh, that's Fear Street.
Oh yeah, very
That's Fear
similar.
Street too.
Very similar. Oh, that's awesome. See, yeah, exactly.
They're just here, they just exist.
Yeah, that's the
Goosebumps
thing.
is a
That's
classic.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. Like I remember going to the Scholastic Book Fair. My mom would give me, $20 or whatever, and I would get all this random crap, and then, a Goosebumps book. It was just so cool to like really bring it to life to a certain degree.
Meanwhile, your hand is just sitting there
Stop it, both of you.
like raw meat. Come on. This is crazy. You're crazy.
This is the most recent set you've been on, so you've been on a lot of sets now at this point. So what is this
Right.
experience like in comparison to the beginnings?
Oh man. It really it made me like pretty emotional because like it's been such an arguably short amount of time, and I realized I was like, wow, you're really working hard, man. Like this is really cool. Like you deserve this. And like I
Yep,
had to tell myself, like, you deserve this, you deserve this, you deserve this. And it was
absolutely.
just very cool to like be there, and everyone's like, wow, you killed it, whatever. I'm like, what, really?
Yeah, yeah,
Thank you. Okay, that's really cool to hear. And
yeah,
just like, finally seeing the footage and like hearing the music and everything put together, it's so awesome, man. Like
yeah, man.
it's such a special, special thing.
Awesome, dude. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I think that's a good place to wrap it up.
Yeah,
And
man.
we'll chat again soon. And
Absolutely.
honestly, I'm gonna keep following everything that you're doing, keep making strides, and I can't wait to watch not only you become an actor because you're good at what you do, but be able to do your own stunts and just be able to watch your career is going to be something fascinating. So keep trekking, keep doing what you're doing, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
All
Seriously,
right,
you're great.
everybody, Zachary Branch. All right,
That's
brother.
me, Zachary. Yeah, not Zach.